How's it going? No one's in the chat. No one ever joins right away. I don't think anyone. Well, that's not true. For like huge channels, people join like right away, and that's because they're waiting. But I didn't even announce this. I just went live. Simple stuff. Coke Zero. I haven't had a Coke Zero in forever. Kind of burns my throat. Sounds a bit kiddish, I know, but I just haven't had in a while. Man, Fantasy Blitz, I hope y'all are doing well. Today we will be doing the second mock draft. So Fantasy Blitz is mock draft 2.0, considering that the draft is what, the 24th, right? Let's find it out. Pretty sure it's the 24th. Yeah, 24th through 26th, of course. First night's always first round. And then I believe the second night is 2, 3, and 4. Or maybe just 2, 3. And then it goes 4, 5, 6, 7. Something like that. I don't know. We'll see. But of course, we're going to be waiting for some people coming in. If you are watching this afterwards, which a lot of people do, I will be dropping the timestamp where you can just skip ahead so you don't have to watch it. Ooh, excuse me. You'll see that like a double word. Where you don't have to watch the filibuster that I'm putting on right now. So, of course, I'll put that timestamp. But at one point, eventually you just got to go. Sometimes you just got to, boom, you just got to do things right off the bat. And hopefully the lighting is not too bad. It's a nice sunny day out here in Georgia. No background lighting. I need to get a better light for the videos. But the laptop light's working pretty well. Shout out to my college professors for telling me that. I didn't learn too much, but I did learn some, But not enough for how much I have to owe them back. Not good stuff. Not good stuff. But I do have some notes here. Go through here. Hold on. Add one more note. At all costs. All right, so it looks like I will just go ahead and kind of start off the draft or start by going through it on what we need to do here. So again, we will be using profootballnetwork.com. We got our first viewer in. Hello. Happy Thursday. I can finally say it for those that celebrate. This is the Fantasy Blitz mock draft 2.0. So last draft wasn't the prettiest, I'll say that. I didn't have a lot of knowledge on the guys. But I will be able to address team issues, so I will be able to recognize what each team needs, and we'll go through each of those picks, all 32 picks, and which guy I think will fit best for that team. Some of these teams I feel like don't really need a lot, so they will just go after, well, it's kind of like, two different sides of the same coin. They don't need a lot, so they'll go with best player available, or they need a lot, and they will go with best player available. So for that, I would just call it BPA. It's just short for best player available. But yeah, we'll be selecting from all teams, just the first round. I'm going to go ahead and enter the solo draft. First couple picks will be really quick and easy because, as everyone knows, I just feel like the Titans need to go with Cam Ward, quarterback out of Miami. You don't want to do another season with Will Levis. It's kind of like it's over. It's not too great for Will Levis in Tennessee. And the NFL is just moving quick. I don't feel like they feel guys out anymore at that position. They just kind of need someone quickly because it's a quick game. Owners want their money fast. People want to win fast. I don't blame them. As a Falcons fan, I've been watching mid for 5, 6, 7 years now. It's pretty frustrating. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so for the Browns, this one I have a little bit of oh man, I think I just have a little bit of controversy here because part of me is do they go for quarterback just in case Kirk Cousins doesn't end up in Cleveland, or do they try to get Aaron Rodgers? I doubt it. There's been no talks of that whatsoever. So I think that they're probably just gonna go with either Shador here, but I'd be really surprised. However, it would make sense for the Browns to go a high draft pick or high quarterback pick here. But honestly, I think they might just go with Abdul Carter. But you know what? No, we're gonna go here. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go Shadur Sanders, number 2 overall, to the Cleveland Browns. Hola, says David. Hello, David. How are you? Hola. Hope all is well. Thank you for joining the chat. Let me know who your team is, which player you would like for your team, whatnot. What are your thoughts on the draft or the offseason so far? Just let me know. But I really do appreciate you tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in too. That really does help out the algorithm. Up next for the Giants, it seems pretty easy for me. Travis Hunter. It just seems like the perfect fit. A guy like Travis Hunter, big name in the Big Apple, very much so need. Hello, DJ Card Craze, or Crazy, I think that is. Welcome to the chat. So we're gonna go Travis Hunter there, cornerback, wide receiver out of Colorado. It looks like they're probably gonna play him out of cornerback a bunch, so we'll go with him. And then up next we will go with New England Patriots. Whew, so this one was a little tough for me because I went with the wide receiver out of Arizona, McMillan, but now I'm thinking after the Stephon Diggs one, they really need to go offensive line. So I'm going to go, Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU. Oh, man. I don't know. That one's a little tough. They also could be a team that's best player available. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went with Abdul Carter. Or Mason Graham even, but I really do think they should go with Will Campbell here. Yeah, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a real tough one. And up next for the Jaguars, they are a team that's just best player available. They need someone. That's it. They just need someone. So we're going to go with Abdul Carter, because I think he probably will fall down to 5. And then for the Raiders, we're going to go with Ashton Jeanty. I think that has to be the pick. That's got to be the pick, man. It just makes the most sense. Drew Hunt, hello. Hi, how are you? Hope all is well. Welcome to the Fantasy Blitz channel. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in. And then for the Jets, a lot of people have been saying Tyler Warren, but now that I'm looking at this player board, I don't know. Because there's a lot of guys like Mason Graham, Will Johnson, even McMillan for the Jets, because they did just lose Devontae Adams, but now we're starting back with just Garrett Wilson. A little bit of a tough situation there. So I'm still gonna pick Tyler Warren over there. Drew Hunt says, "Why do you do content if you get short likes and subscribers?" I don't know if that's like a genuine question or not, but because I love to do it, it's probably this is not my full-time job, obviously, with my short likes and subscribers, but I love to do it. It's what I want to do. So you're not going to start off right away with all these clicks and views. I mean, I've been doing this for 2 years now. Just gotta wait for the right time, or just enjoy it while you can. So next we're gonna go with Carolina at the 8th pick. I think if Mason Graham falls here at 8, I think they're gonna go with Mason Graham at D tackle. So we're gonna go with Mason Graham, and then that leaves the Saints. All right, this one's a little bit of a controversial pick, but I think personally, let me scroll down and find him. Where is he? I have to scroll down to find him. Am I doing the right thing? Am I? I don't know. But we're going to go with Jackson Dart, quarterback out of Ole Miss. Ooh. No more Coke Zero. Yep, no more Coke Zero. I'm all done. You guys can clip that. Oh my gosh, I'm going to go grab my water. How lame. Unbelievable. Excuse me. That was so embarrassing. Not as embarrassing as the leg cramp last year. If you were in this chat and you know what that was, I had a huge leg cramp at one of the lives. It was terrible. All right, so now we're at the Bears. This player board is looking like an absolute mess, right? So let's take a look. Just because it really got thrown off. But if it does work out for the Bears, all these guys getting picked like this, I think they're going to go with the offensive tackle out of Missouri, Armand Mimbo. So I think that will fit really well. Still need to give Caleb Williams just a little bit more time in the pocket, so I think this would be a great pick for them. And then that moves us to the 49ers. I mean, they lost all sorts of guys, but I think they really do need to add up on that defense. I think that they might go with Will Johnson or Shamir Stewart here. Personally, I think it would be best for Will Johnson to go over there. So we'll go with Will Johnson, cornerback out of Michigan. And then next for the Cowboys, they do need to make, let me mark up some notes. They need to make an offensive pick, an offensive pick. Hopefully it doesn't make any people upset. That was a dumb joke, but if you got it, I'm glad you did. You don't have to laugh at it. So I think they need to go for a wide receiver or a running back. The wide receiver just to help out CeeDee Lamb, so that whenever, CeeDee Lamb's great, but it does not mean, if they get a wide receiver, it does not mean anymore that they have to rely on just CeeDee Lamb. So I think they could either go with McMillan here, or they can go with, where's that running back out of North Carolina, Omarion Hampton. Oh, man, I'm kind of debating here. I would feel wrong for McMillan to go that low, but they really need a running back. They don't have a running back, so I think they're going to go with Omarion here, which is a much higher pick than I think a lot of people would expect. Up next, we have the Dolphins. I mean, again, they need a lot of help on both sides of the ball. Maybe not a lot of help, but they do need some help. So we're going to go with, oh, man, you can go with a guard, a D tackle. I don't know. You know what? Here we go. Malachi Starks, safety out of Georgia. It's going to go right there. All right, so then up next we have the Colts. Again, needing a lot, so they could go with a tight end, some guard play. I think they might want to go with a tight end here. And Tyler Warren, if he doesn't go higher to the Jets, I think it would be a really good idea for them to go with Colston Loveland out of Michigan. A lot of Michigan guys being selected here with Mason Graham, Will Johnson, now Loveland. So that would be 3 Michigan players in the top 15. Not too bad for a lackluster season after winning the national championship. All right, then that leaves us to the Falcons. As we all know, they just need defense and defense only. Drew Hunt says, it's only me. Well, hello. Now it's just you and I. That's quite all right. All right, so now we're going to go with, if Shamir Stewart falls to 15, I feel like the Falcons would go with him. Personally, I would go with Jalen Walker. Maybe that's a little bit of bias from the Georgia side, but let's just go with Shamir Stewart here. And then the Cardinals, they can go with Jalen Walker here. Oh, I should have gone with Kel. Let me see. Can I not go back? Dang. I can't go back. That's okay. That's just like life. You can't go back. All right, so now with the Bengals, that can leave them with Mikael Williams. A lot of, like, Jalen Walker, Mikael Williams, I feel like, they need some NFL development. I mean, great size for them, really athletic, but they do need some NFL coaching. Then that leaves us to the Seahawks at 18. I feel like they should go with a wide receiver here. Yeah, they have JSN and Cooper Kupp, but if they add another really good rookie, I feel like that can help them a bunch. And what better time than to go with Tatorio McMillan, the wide receiver out of Arizona, who I personally think is one of the better guys out there. And then for 19 for the Bucks, I feel like they can just go with really whoever they want to go for. I think secondary would probably be the best move. So they can go with Nick Emenwari, safety out of South Carolina. I think that would be okay. Would you end the stream if I left? No, I would not, because people do watch the stream afterwards. So it would be really nice. But if you want to stay, you stay. I would love for you to stay, man. It'd be really great. And if you want to hit that like button, too, that'd be cool. All right, so now for the Broncos. They need a running back or a wide receiver. So let's look at the offensive guys available. They can go with Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas. Then you go with Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State. All right, or Luther Burden. Luther Burden out of Missouri. Not many running back guys here available. Let's see. It would be Trevion Henderson. I don't see him being selected in the first round. So we're going to go with Matthew Golden, wide receiver out of Texas. And then for the Steelers, they need a quarterback. I don't know where they could go. I really thought initially before we started this video, or before we started this live, that it was going to be Jackson Dart or Shadur Sanders here. But I took them both early because then I started thinking maybe the Browns would want Shador, and that would leave the Saints with Jackson Dart. So I don't know, a little tough one here. However, with the whole DK Metcalf and Aaron Rodgers throwing, catching, that whole thing coming out, I really do think that he might go there just as a matter of time. Um, so we're going to go with a defensive tackle here for them. That's Derek Harmon, DT out of Oregon. And then that moves us to the Chargers. They need a tight end or a wide receiver. Um, or they can pull another Chargers and just get another offensive lineman. I don't think that's what they're going to do, though, here. So let's go look at the offense. Drew Hunt says, I have a surprise. I love surprises, man. What you got? Let me know. Let me know. All right, so Chargers here. Boom, boom, boom. D tackle or tight end. That's what they're suggesting. No real tight ends available here. Let's look at the defensive tackles available. No one there. Walter Nolan, but I feel like that just would be a waste of a pick going on him. Maybe go with James Pierce Jr., edge. Yeah, they did just lose Joey Bosa, so I think that would be a great pick for them. So James Pierce Jr., edge out of Tennessee. The SEC guys, they can really, surprise some people in the NFL. Even though they get picked a little bit lower. Drew Hunt have sent you $100. Have a good day. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I can't wait to use that $100. Nah, but seriously, your viewing and your comment, that's worth more than $100 to me, bro. For real. Really do appreciate that. All right, so now for the Packers, then go with an edge or a really just secondary guy or someone on the line. The linebackers are great, so I think they're all good there. So let's go with, I think it was Nick Scorton, edge out of Texas A&M. That would fall right around their number for the draft pick for the big board. So we're going to go with Nick there. Oh, Chili Minute, what up, what up? Yes, Chili, what's up, bro? How you doing? Long time no chat. Seriously, man. How you feeling? How you think the offseason's been? Has it been slow? Has it been just as what you thought? But, let me know, Chili. Hope all is well, bro, for real. Drew, if you didn't know, Chili's been a day one subscriber. He's an OG. Love Chili, man. He's a great guy. I love Chili, and I love Chili. You know what I'm saying? All right, so now for the Vikings, pick number 24. Really just some secondary help, so let's see if we can find there. This would be a great pick for Jahdae Barron, cornerback out of Texas. Let's go with him. All right, now for the Texans. Clear out some things on my laptop. Offensive tackles, this is great. Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle out of Texas. Again, some of these guys really might not fall that low in the seeding or in the picks. So maybe Kelvin Banks gets taken way earlier. I don't know. But we're going to go with Kelvin Banks Jr., offensive tackle out of Texas. So back-to-back Texas picks. Now for the Rams. Now, I was reading up on some mock drafts earlier, and a lot of them were picking offensive linemen. And I was just thinking, why? I feel like they were just fine last year. I don't remember or hearing about any guys that were leaving just like that. So, I don't know. It's a little confusing why they went that way. So, I really think they just need some defensive help in the front seven. So, I think that's where we're going to go with Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama. All right, so good pick right there, I think. Of course, I would say good pick. I made the pick. It's not being boastful. I'm just how I think it. Now for the Ravens, I think they really just need some defensive help or maybe a pass rusher. But none of these guys here in front of me are looking like any of those guys. So maybe they'll go with an offensive guard with Tyler Booker, offensive guard out of Alabama. I love reading that positions because it's OGs. He's an OG out of Alabama. It's funny to me. All right, so Tyler Booker. Now, this is what I think is the dream pick for all teams, the best matchup. All right, before I do that, let's read some chat. Drew Hunt said, I'll be on your live stream tomorrow, but right now I got to go. Hey, man, we go live every Thursday. Hopefully I can make it every Tuesday and Thursday, but Tuesday's really slow. It's off-season right now. So Tuesday, Thursday, looking just to upload when the season is going on. Sometimes we do videos just covering what's been going on in the off-season. But, Drew, it's been a pleasure, man. Thank you so much for coming in live. You're a real one. It's made my day, so God bless you, brother, for real. Thank you. All right, so for the Lions, this is what I think is the best pick. All right, it is the guy out of Marshall, Mike Green. I was recently talking to a Lions fan. I asked him, I said, hey, what do the Lions need to do? It seems like y'all are good at every position, but you still got to make a pick. And he pondered and he said, just get a guy that helps out Aiden Hutchinson. And I think Mike Green, who led the NCAA in sacks last year, I think he would be a great partner for Aiden Hutchinson. So we're going to go with Mike Green, edge out of Marshall. All right, so now for the Commanders. They also need an edge, a little bit of cornerback help. So thinking here, and they just got Deebo Samuel. So I think their offense is set. All good on the offensive side, so I don't know. Chili said, is Aaron Rodgers going to the Steelers? Let me check my Magic 8 Ball. I don't know. But hopefully he will, because that will clear it all out. 1 second. Oh, excuse me. Good gravy. That was awful. I mean, it's just when you're living in the cold and my basement's cold, it's not the most fun. And also pollen. Can I get an amen? My goodness. Drew said, God bless you. Bye. See you later, man. Seriously. God bless you. Chili said, bless you, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. I really needed that. All right, back to the draft. So Commanders, man, they could go with a lot of guys here. They're saying edge. No one that I see here. Maybe a cornerback. I mean, they could say Siobhan Rebel. I don't know who that is personally. Is it also a safety or a linebacker? No one there. Nah, not there either. I just go with best player available. And that would be Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of Ohio State. You know what? Nah, we're not going to go there. We're going to go with Emeka Egbuka, wide receiver out of Ohio State. I think he's going to be fantastic in the NFL. Truly think he would do a lot of damage for opposing teams. Now that leads us to the Bills. Wide receiver. I really think they need to go back to a wide receiver. I think the defense is just fine, so they're going to go with Luther Burden here. Again, another guy I think just needs some NFL development. Now for the last two picks, we have the Chiefs and the Eagles. So funny. Every year the Chiefs are just bottom 2 pick. They need... Yeah, we're going to go with Walter Nolan here. Defensive tackle out of Ole Miss. Former, I think, #1 overall player in the nation out of high school. Went to A&M for a little bit, transferred out. The whole NIL deal. So that leaves us to the Eagles. They need an edge or an offensive guard. I think I don't know. Let's go with Josh Simmons, offensive tackle out of Ohio State. All right, not too bad. Let's see if we can get the full results here. Let me see. So here we go. Here it is right in front of us. Let me see if I can fix this. Get it all on there. Boom. All right, there it is right there. I'm going to take a screenshot of my phone. Boom. Save it for next time. There it is. Not bad. Very versatile on the picks here today. Because last year we talked about how some guys are last year was just all offensive and then defensive here and there, but we got quarterback, cornerback, tackle, edge, running back, tight end, tackle or defensive tackle, cornerback or quarterback. Just a lot of here and there's. So I think it's gonna be a pretty good draft year. I just think there might be a couple surprises at the 2 with Browns. I think the Saints might make a surprise pick. Never know what the Falcons are going to do. I'm very curious to see where the Colts go. If a team needs a tight end, just don't think a lot of people go after them right away. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, I'm liking this one. This one's a whole lot better, I think, than the first one. Oh, excuse me. Let's see if I can pull up. Let me see if I can pull up the one from last week real quick. Oh, I'm live. You can see my live. So silly. Huh. Can I watch myself? Huh. Can I watch myself? That's hilarious. Oh my gosh. The internet is funny. Alright, so let's go here. Alright, so let's go to last week's or last time's. Right now we're at 24, 20, or 50. Last week's or 2 weeks ago was about under 30 minutes. Not a terrible one. Oh my goodness, you couldn't even see the picks last time. Is that because the quality is low? Oh yeah, that's why. Oh, there we go. All right, so last draft I had James Pierce Jr. going to the Cardinals, Derek Harmon going to the Bengals. I had Abdul going to the Browns, McMillan to Arizona. See, a lot of stuff can just change with just free agency picks, man. Seriously, a lot of stuff can change. All right, well, I think I'm gonna end the live here. As always, I appreciate y'all. Seriously, y'all are the best. I mean, that Drew Hunt question kind of hit me hard. He was like, why do you do it with low likes and low subscribers? Because I love it. I want to give it to the people. I don't care if it's just one person or 2 people or 0 people. Love to do this for y'all. Y'all seriously are the best. As always, I'll see y'all next week. We'll be uploading a video. Hopefully get 2 more. We'll be 10th. Yeah, we'll do the 17th and the 24th. We'll do mock draft 3.0 and then the final mock draft. And that'll be it. And then we'll do a draft review the following week. Be a good time, guys. Really good time. So as always, appreciate you guys. Love you all. Seriously, thank you so much. Yeah, so God bless. Be kind and peace.